Hmm.
Hello, Lewis.
Hello there.
Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlon, and welcome to the latest episode of our entertainment show. As you know, in part three of our show each week, we premiere new events and new activities taking place here in Ireland, and especially we look at both sides of the country on the West Coast and East Coast. And we're going to talk comedy now. And much is made about American comedians in terms of coming over here, performing in Ireland, showcasing their talents, and informing us about the culture and the lifestyle that goes on in America, the good, the bad, and dare I say, the ugly as well. We've had so many comedians grace our shows here in Ireland, from the likes of Dave Chappelle to Kevin Hart to Chris Rock, even to the likes of the Southern comedies. We've had the likes of Larry the Cable Guy. We've had so many. Billingval has come our way as well, and we're now delighted to be treated by another American comedian. He's probably his style, his genre of comedy is just talking about every day-to-day life in terms of America and politics. He's no stranger to the shores of Ireland. He's been here several times in the past, performing in the Kilkenny Comedy Festival. He's award-winning comedic. He's appeared in the sort of TV shows and films alongside Jonah Hill as well. And he's back in Ireland in September. And on September the 1st, he plays Liberty Theatre in Dublin. And in September the 10th, he's very near home here in County Galway, much close to us here in County Clare and Limerick and Mayo on the West Coast. He's in Roisin Dubh on September the 10th, the one and only Lewis Black. And Lewis, back in Ireland again, before we came on air, you said it's a favourite place for you to visit down through the years and perform. And the Kilkenny Comedy Festival is one of the comedy festivals known throughout the world, the Galway Comedy Festival as well. Do you get a certain buzz when you get to travel, when you go, dare I say, across the pond here to Ireland and the UK, and get to bring your material, to get to bring Lewis Black to the different parts of the world?
Yeah, no, it's good to find out. It's good to be performing and to feel a sense of sanity when I get out of my country. There's the problem, the one nice thing really about performing in another country is you're dealing with an audience that doesn't bring the kind of baggage they're now bringing to see shows in the United States. So you either have people who are too woke, the new word woke, where you shouldn't have said that. Why would you say that? And the same thing when the other side, the ones the right wing, who were basically, you shouldn't have said that. How do you not like him? The president who is now being indicted for the third time. So to be in front of an audience that doesn't have that baggage, you already get the fact that we are stupid, and that you already get. I don't have to worry about the setup. You've already watched the setup, so it's, in a sense, it's a joy. And I'll tell you, the Kilkenny Comedy Festival was a festival that we, all of us, I believe. The Irish comics, the British comics, the Americans who performed there, and I did for years, always felt it was one of the best, because it wasn't swamped with industry people looking to see who the next big hoo-ha was. It was just about being funny and us getting a chance to spend time together without having to sit down and have cocktails with some agent who was just going to lie to us.
And Lewis, in terms of coming to Ireland and interacting with the Irish audience, I saw some material online about St. Patrick's Day and some of your rants, as normal sort of comments that you like to do this sort of rant feature where people maybe send in rants or requests for you in terms of that. And you've done about St. Patrick's Day all over in terms of the USA, and about drunkenness and St. Patrick's Day. Is that something that you were brought up on the notion that Irish people, they like their drinking on St. Patrick's Day?
Well, it was also, they like their drinking, and being in Kilkenny, I realized that they really like their drinking. But we also have, the one thing is I go to Milwaukee in Wisconsin, or Wisconsin itself, and they like their drinking. And I for a long time was trying to set up an event where you'd actually have a great contest where Ireland would send their best drinkers, and the good people of Wisconsin would send their best drinkers, and you go head to head. So it would be interesting to see. But no, it's also because I have a close friend, Kathleen Madigan, who's a very, very funny comedian, and with Irish roots that go back. And so she was the first one who kind of gave me the background on Irish drinking. And then when I got there, look, one of the reasons I took this gig was to get back to getting some Guinness again. You guys, you're the only ones who know how to prepare it. It's the best that it could possibly be is there. Here, it's just never. There's every so often you find a place that comes, but not the way it is there, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I suppose Lewis, as a comedian, in terms of looking at American politics and American history, it's something that people outside of the US, or probably worldwide, people are fascinated about. And I suppose in terms of comedy, that's what you know. But when you come to different countries, do you look at that country's sort of background? Here in Ireland, we've running gags and running history with the English, the British, the Irish, and the British, the sort of tension throughout the years in terms of the king and the queen sort of stuff. There's so many sort of running gags. And do you look sometimes when you're going to a country and say, wow, that's maybe something I can perform or add into my act for that sort of when I come there, in terms of, because I know it might get a reaction, or I might get a reaction or response in terms of Prince Charles or the Queen or the royal family or William or something like that, that might appeal to the Irish crowd there, I say.
Well, I mean, I might, you actually just kind of, tweaked it a little, because Meghan Markle is just, it's just just beyond belief. You don't have to be Irish to know that we're stuck with her, and that he married her it just means, that means that family, you didn't need to write a book about it. You married her. Okay, that's all you had to do. Once you married her, so there'll be stuff like that I might bring to bear on it. I haven't really thought it out. What I'll do is I'll arrive early, and I'll arrive early in Galway, and I will wander around a bit. And what I'll pick up is what I see locally, and that's really where I get it from, because I got enough to say about what I know best, which is the stupidity of my country.
Okay, and it's sort of fascinating in terms of that you mentioned as a comedian, that you might see something on your way to a different country, or see something on an airport, or to have a funny story or an interaction that maybe that you witnessed in the past from coming to countries. That's very important as well, to make that sort of connection with your audience, in terms of maybe that down to sort of earth sort of nature, and maybe rope a dope sort of tactic, as Muhammad Ali would say, rope a dope, get them on the ropes and get them sort of sucked in fairly on, maybe an experience you had, a funny experience you've had in the country before, and that sort of something that you can bring in and make it feel that you're connecting with your listener or audience, in terms of saying, wow, something similar happened to me or something.
Yeah, I think it has to do with it's universal with comedians. I mean, I do it, every state I go to in the US. I go there, I have a story about what happened there, or something I've seen there, or something that happened before. And what I've noticed over time, and it's one of the reasons I've been able to make a living, is that I'm able to you find that thing. Audiences enjoy having you take the piss out of them. They enjoy that. They get. I mean, I've said some stuff to audiences. I'm going, this is abusive. When I'm yelling at them, I'm being abusive, and they're howling, because they too understand, as whatever I stumble on in Ireland, or I was in Amsterdam when they were building a subway in Amsterdam, and I went on for 5 minutes about, you people know you're living on water. Where are you putting this this thing? Even I'm not an engineer, but I know. Audience exploded. I used to think you people were intelligent, and it's once you start there and you come at them, it shows that you're paying attention, and that and I think all of us, especially there's certain people, the Irish being really included in it, you have a sense that if you're making these kind of comments and being sarcastic to you folks, it shows a kind of a real affection for you, because you guys, you like having the piss taken out of you more than other people, and so do I. There's something about it that, oh, look, he gets it, and so he gets how we're getting screwed, and that makes a big difference, and it does establish a place for you to start from, and shows that, because I have a tremendous affection for Ireland, even though, and part of the time I've just gone there to play golf. And that I'll talk about, because it's appalling that you allow Americans to come play golf there, because most of us suck.
Very true. I wouldn't be too harsh now on the American golfers, but I do know an awful lot of past presidents. Bill Clinton is a keen golfer, I suppose. Or Mr. Trump comes to Dumbeg in County Clare, right beside Galway, every sort of time of the year, and he sort of sanctions off Dumbeg for him sort of self. It almost feels like he's trying to get away to a remote country, a remote distant island, wherever he's going to have people sort of celebrating his cause for a week or two, because he's provided a job for their brother, their sister, their uncle, or someone within his hotel. It's fascinating story what he's done for the people of Dumbeg, in terms of his big massive hotel there has given so many people a direct sort of job, so he knows when he goes there he's never going to face any sort of scrutiny whatsoever.
Well, the amazing thing about him, and it doesn't come to mind immediately because I can't remember, there's been 2 occasions where I've heard he cheats. He's a golfer who cheats. He apparently raced down at one point. He was playing somebody, raced down there, kicked their ball into the water, and he went, "Oh, I'm really sorry that your ball's." It's his personality. It's
competitive to the very end.
Competitive and cheating. Cheating to the very end.
Cheating to the very end. And I suppose, Lewis, in terms of traveling and doing global tours all over the world and coming to Ireland and the UK, do you feel a sort of difference when you come to Ireland compared to other places in Europe or the UK? Does it almost feel a sort of more, dare I say, more down to earth, more chilled, relaxed? Is it enjoyable for a comedian? Do you ever feel like you're going to some countries and you say, right, I need to be bang on because the audience might think this is all sort of stern, the commercial? Well, I know these guys are just here for a good time. Once we get rolling, they're just going to swing with the punches, as the saying goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you guys, I've known a lot of Irish comics over the years, and the great thing about being in Ireland is if you've got a good story, you're set. It's the same way that I am. If the Irish are great at telling stories. You guys are one of the top 5 countries for storytelling, maybe the best. And so I know I'm comfortable in that atmosphere. I'm comfortable. You've got your pub atmosphere is way more comfortable than most anywhere in the world that I've been. To be able to sit down with you guys and just go into the pub and listen to what the folks have to say, and I'll never forget being in Kilkenny, and I went one night with a friend to a pub, and I was astonished to watch somebody would get up and sing a song and then sit down, and somebody else, you sing that song. No, you sing, Martha, you sing. And I was like,
Christy Moore songs, Christy Moore or Sinead O'Connor or the Cranberries, Dolores O'Riordan, sort of stuff like that. That's a very common trend, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's remarkable. and I just have spent a lot of time there and have loved every moment of it, and so I feel like I'm very comfortable there. I'm very comfortable in Amsterdam because I spent a lot of time there. I enjoy going to the Scandinavian countries, but I don't understand really what a word they're saying, and I think it's too cold all year for them. I think they break under the cold. But
Yeah,
I love
very.
playing there, but it's a different
Yeah.
kind of a performance than it is in terms of I've played so much in Ireland that that I was, as soon as I had the opportunity to come back and do a show there, I was thrilled.
Yeah, and obviously, as we mentioned, September the 1st, playing in Liberty Hall, Dublin. September the 10th, playing in the Roisin Dubh, Galway. And is this your first time back in Ireland since COVID, Lewis?
Yeah, we were going to come last year. And then there was an uptick in the Omicron, literally right at the summer, and I held off. So it is the first time.
And Lewis, when you're in Ireland and when you're at those comedy festivals, they're saying Galway or Kilkenny, do you quite enjoy maybe sitting down and when your shows over, performance finish, and maybe intermingling back at the end of the crowd and maybe watching an Irish comedian like an Ardal O'Hanlon or someone like that, or Aaron or Dara O'Brien or someone like
Dara
that?
O'Brien, with Dara O'Brien, as I call him. Yes, I've gotten to know them. That's one of the great joys of playing Kilkenny was I got to know Ardal and the Tommy Tiernan, Des Bishop. There's a list that go Jason Byrne, all of them, and we would do shows together. So I had a real sense of their comedy. I had a real sense of where they were coming from. They had a sense of where I was coming from. We really enjoyed watching each other and spending time together. It was tremendous, and I miss it terribly. It was terrific.
Yeah, and interesting. As an American, what you make of Des Bishop's slant of comedy, where he pins to be this American sort of yokel that's grown up in Ireland, and that's his gig in terms of understanding that how Americans sort of survives growing up in Ireland as a sort of child. He sort of slant in that. Do you start to find that sort of interesting in that scope that he's done that, or do you find it sort of hints where he sort of tried to intermingle with the Irish crowd throughout the years?
Oh no, I think he does. I love what he does, and the only thing that he did that I thought was really insane was going to China and doing comedy in Chinese. I'm not gonna. What are you thinking? And even when I saw him afterwards, he had just come back or had been back for a little while. I ran into him and I said, you need psychiatric care. I think that's the American in him, is the nut job who would go over there and speak Chinese and try to get laughs. I'm kind of amazed.
I'm sort of wondering, one thing that struck me about American comedy, Lewis, and you have all the different types of comedians throughout the world. The American comedies, you have your Dave Chappelle's, your Chris Rocks, and then you go to the southern states and you have a different type of comedy. You have your Jeff Foxworthy, your Bill Engvall, Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White.
Ron White.
Yeah, this sort of blue collar type of comedy for your Louisiana, your Texas, your Kansas, these sort of states. In terms of, is there a different sort of makeup throughout the states in terms of comedy between the central states and the East Coast and the West Coast? Is it very different? Do you find very different performers in terms of Philly and New York and Manhattan and places like that, and then you go into the central states? And is it different again then when you go to LA? Is there sort of three different genres of comedy within the one state?
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do. There are places in which comedy grows really well. And one was Chicago, had a huge comedy. Boston, massive. A lot of Irish comics coming out of Boston. Irish American comics. Really huge there for a long time. It was a spawning ground. It was a Seattle had a bit of it. San Francisco, massive. And they're a bit different, but it's anywhere where people can get together and do it. And there is a difference from kind of the Southern comic using what they've got, and there's the the ethnic, the Jewish comic or the Italian comic, using what they have, and then there's just that kind of folks who move from observational to storytelling, and so there are all sorts. But as long as there's that place where they can all gather and really perform in front of each other and give each other, support, you're going to have really good comics coming to out of there. It's like a lab, is what it is.
And on that note, Lewis Black, for the final 30 seconds, I'm going to turn it over to you. You might tell all our audience, all our listeners, all our viewers, why they should, on September the 1st, go beforehand, the few weeks to come, get onto Ticketmaster, order their tickets for Lewis Black on the Liberty Hall in Dublin, September the 1st. If they're on the East Coast, they're in counties Dublin, Wexford, Wicklow, and then obviously if you're on the West Coast, then on September the 10th, Roisin Dubh in Galway. Why you should order your tickets here in Clare and counties right beside us: Limerick, Tip, Waterford, Mayo, and what's in store for Lewis Black's performance?
Well, one thing that'll give them a good idea of it is if you go to my YouTube channel. Oh boy, and I'm serious though. It's Lewis Black. If you go YouTube Lewis Black, and I have one, if not a couple of specials there, and a lot of little bits and pieces of what I've done over the years is on that channel. My newest special is there. It's all free. It'll give them a good idea of what I'm doing. And, and it's the first time I've been back in a long time. I mean, I've been seen in Ireland on The Daily Show for a long, long time. It's an opportunity for them to see me live, which is different than just seeing me on a screen or any comic, really. And then I've never performed in Galway. So I'm really excited about that and look forward to going there. And one thing I can guarantee is, if I'm good or if I'm bad, I promise you'll have a good time.
On that note, you have me sold, Tanoa, in terms of having a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Lewis Black, performing September the 1st in the Liberty Theatre, Dublin, and then September the 10th, performing in Roisin Dubh in Galway. Do check out Lewis Black. Do come out live to his performances. No doubt you're going to be laughing until your socks go home, as the saying goes here in Ireland. But for the moment, for me, Jim Conlon, to you, Lewis Black, stay safe, take care, and God bless, sir.
Thank you, Jim.